What is going on, everybody? Jacob here from TNS, and I am joined by none other than the SupplementSnoop himself, Mr. Justin. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. I am excited to come on here today and talk to you about a product that as soon as I saw the formula, I was like, I have to try it. I got the pre-order for it because it's a little unique. Nootropics are such like a popular category anymore, and once I saw the direction you were going, I was like, okay, I like this. So I knew I had to pick it up, and I've actually been bothering you. I said, I want to talk about this product. So it was actually funny because I talked to Andy from Norse Fitness, and he was like, he responded to my thoughts on Instagram about it, how I was saying how much I liked it. And he's like, did you really like it? And I was like, Andy, I know we don't know each other that well. I was like, we haven't met yet. I was like, but I wouldn't just say that just because Jacob is a good friend of mine and because Andy's such a nice guy, I'm not going to say like, oh, this is a really, like, it worked great because they're my friends. Because I know people will go out and spend their money on a product like this if I give, and then people will find out eventually. So that's why you don't see me like really kind of go out there like too often and give a lot of recommendations, because especially things like this can be so different for a lot of people. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about with this product is using this product appropriately and having the right expectations. All about like managing expectations when it comes to this stuff, because I think there's some people that have probably used this product incorrectly and have an experience that'll be different than their expectations just based on the ingredients in it. Because I think a lot of people will be like, oh, I'm going to take this, first thing in the morning or like before a workout, and it's going to jack me up and I'm going to have all this energy. And that's not how this one is designed. Now, granted, there are like ingredients in there for energy, but to me, it's more of like people that don't have experience with adaptogens and things like rhodiola and ashwagandha we're talking about. These are very like, if you're overstimulated, they can calm you back down and sort of bring you back to the middle. Or if you're feeling like a little lethargic, your lower, cortisol is not really there, it can sort of bring you up into an energetic. So there's this constant like back and forth that people might experience. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about when we talk about this.
And don't get me wrong, guys, he's not referring to it as an upper and a downer. They're not.
Right.
Adaptogens are totally different. And also, I do love one of our friends commented on my photo of it yesterday, and he said it looks like a very centering formula. And I think that's the best way to put it.
People go through, this is where sort of getting to know like how your day, like everybody's day is sort of different. Like when you sort of struggle mentally, physically, energy wise, people's cortisol cycles are different. It's just the way it goes. Like sometimes, like I explain to people, if you take caffeine at a certain time of day, it feels very different than other times of day. Same kind of thing with stuff like this is my experience will be different than Jacob's, the time of day maybe, because him and I have different sleep patterns. We have different exercise patterns. So what I did with this last night was I saw this formula. I ended up using it post-workout. A lot of people will be like, well, there's caffeine and stuff like that in there. So now that becomes, what did you do pre-workout? Was there a lot of stimulants? But there's some data out there that's positive when it comes to using caffeine post-workout. But then there's also the adaptogens. Now, the reason why I used it post-workout was I had a long night ahead of me last night. So sometimes, when you finish up a workout and I didn't eat a lot, so your cortisol is kind of all over the place, and this balanced me back out perfectly last night and just sent me through the rest of the night. So that's how I thought I wanted to use it, and it played out exactly as I had hoped.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, I mean, that's honestly one of the best freaking reviews that we could ask for. Seriously. And, like you said about the caffeine and post-workout, guys, there's a few studies, maybe one or two, on glycogen replenishment. With caffeine consumption post-workout, it can increase the rate of that. So I would say if you're a high lactate threshold athlete like CrossFit or someone who's doing circuit training especially, consume a high carbohydrate meal and then a small amount of caffeine. It might be able to help you with recovery. So I think it's a great thing.
Yeah, and like I mentioned last night, I didn't eat a lot, sort of pre-workout. So finding the appropriate setting for this, because like I mentioned to Jacob earlier today, I said, I don't know that I would personally, would use this product like first thing in the morning. Some people could use this first thing in the morning and feel fantastic.
Right.
They would have nice energy boost, sort of getting out of bed. I probably would wait until later on the day, just knowing my patterns, because I tend to like, if I use a lot of caffeine in the morning, it doesn't really have an effect on me. So this might be too calming for me first thing in the morning. Well, and there's a couple things also that I want to talk about in here, because there's some ingredients that go together. You know, we talk about ingredient synergy, kind of gets thrown around a lot. But
we love that word.
Right, but there's definitely some ingredients where it's like, okay, this sort of works nicely with this. Hordenine is kind of one of those ingredients that, while itself is stimulatory, it works better. It can actually like help other ingredients work. So
I think that and synephrine work pretty well together too, right? I mean, they're kind of similar classes.
So hordenine works really well with anything like dopamine, because they both work on the dopamine receptors, but in different ways. So like how you have mucunas in here, that can provide L-dopa. You have hordenine sort of works with that, and then synephrine also. So you kind of have like this multi-pronged approach that sort of, I think, yields a nice result. So it's a smart formula. And tyrosine is another one that, tyrosine is a great ingredient. It's non-stimulatory, but it can make you feel good and energetic, because it can ultimately lead to dopamine production. And again, raise up dopamine. You have things like hordenine that sort of work with it. So you got a nice, that's why when I saw this formula, I was like, that's cool. I got to try this.
Heck yeah.
And it played out perfectly.
Well, man, I can't thank you enough for talking about it with us and giving us your feedback. This has been the Supplement Snoop and TNS Focus breakdown thingy. I don't know. I'll use it. I'll work with it.